Hi, it's Darnell with Wheel of Recipes, and this is my review of the Gourmia 8-Quart digital air fryer. It has a window and a light in this unit, so it should help us to be able to keep an eye on things. Let's go ahead and get it unboxed. Okay, so with things unboxed, basically going to show the accessories real quick. Comes with a air fryer rack that goes inside of the unit. It comes with this heightened rack, and I like this because it's a heightened rack to give you an extra layer. You could put it inside. I'll show it in a close-up later, but it gives you more height, and I like that they included this with the unit, not as like some separate accessory you have to buy later. That's a real nice touch by Gourmia. I'll be showing you how to put the handle and the cord holder together in a moment too. Comes with a good bit of paperwork, gives you instructions on how to put together the handle holder and the cord holder, or the handle and the cord holder. Also comes with this laminated, this came out the box laminated cooking chart. I have never seen a cooker that came with a laminated cooking chart. That is a very nice touch by Gourmia. Good job on that, Gourmia. Laminated cooking chart, I like that. If anybody else has purchased a cooker where you had a laminated cooking chart included, let me know, especially if it wasn't from Gourmia, because I've never seen one before. I've reviewed well over 70 cookers and never seen that before. So that's pretty interesting. Then inside of this envelope here, they give you a like the manual and some other paperwork. On their website, they do have a PDF recipe guide. It's a very nice, lengthy recipe guide. They didn't include it with the unit, but I recommend getting that off their website. So now to put the handle on, basically it's pretty simple. Like here's the door, and here's the handle, and you just kind of take it and just make sure that it's snapped in place. There you go, you got a handle. So now I should be able to like put the air fry rack in there and slide it in like that. Pull it out with the handle. So pretty straightforward. Now around the back, to put this cord holder in, I'm supposed to, oops, let me get over here. It has an up symbol on it, so you know which side is up. So you hold that side up, and this is supposed to go in like this, which I think just fit into the grooves that are available to kind of pop it in. You gotta put a good bit of pressure on there to lock this cord holder into place. I had to put a good bit of pressure on it, so it doesn't lock in easily. So you basically have to force it in to lock the grooves in, but it does go into place once you press it in and get it locked in there. Now let me show you the power cord. It's a pretty long, they say it's short in the manual, but it's pretty long as my arm. 2-prong polarized cord here, and it's a 1700 watt cooker, so it comes in on the higher end as far as wattage. So you definitely don't want to have anything else on the same circuit with this cooker unless it's a very, 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 very low wattage item. So basically, if you try and put other things and power plugs on the same circuit in your kitchen with this, you're probably going to blow the circuit. Just keep that in mind. The dimensions of the cooker, I got this from Costco, so these specs are from Costco. In inches, it's 17.8 inches in depth, 11.8 inches in length, and 11.7 inches in height. We'll be measuring that later. I wanted to check what the window might be made of, if it's glass or plastic. So let me just kind of do a feel test, just to check. Yeah, it's feeling like plastic on the outside. This is plastic. Then there's an inner window. It's like a 2-pane thing. So there's an outer window that is definitely feeling like plastic, but the inner window feels like glass. So it's like glass on the inside plastic on the outside, so when you're cooking, your food's not getting exposed to plastic from the window. It's glass on the inside, so that's a good thing. They say the cooker has 7 cooking functions. We'll be going over those in detail later. It has temperature ranges from 90 degrees Fahrenheit to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. The time ranges are between 1 minute up to 24 hours. That varies based on the function. They say that the interior has a non-stick coating that is PFOA, PTFE, and BPA free. That's what they say, but I do recommend that you do your own homework on these types of things, and I'll leave it at that. You're supposed to have 4 inches of clearance around the cooker. They recommend using an oil mister type of spray bottle instead of a like aerosol spray can. They don't recommend use any aerosol spray cans. I do have a video here on the channel talking about what you can use inside of an air fryer, talking about different types of oils and things, ones that are better or worse for you in terms of health and such. You can check that out here on the channel. And well over 800 other videos here on the channel as well. Nothing ever given to me, nothing ever sponsored, no kickbacks, no reimbursements, none of that stuff. I buy this stuff with my own money and prefer to stay independent. Now let me show you around the cooker. Up top you got some air vents there, probably intake vents. You see the front there, the side, nothing on the sides. On the back looks like an out port for air, like an out port, and then you've got the cord holder, which is nice. So some nice features underneath. You got like some feet with some little silicone type pads or some type of rubbery pad on them. So that's cool. So now giving you a close-up view of the cooker. You see the display, it'll light up later when we're using it, but you know, it's a full touchscreen display. When I pull the handle out, you see inside the basket here, and basically when I use this additional rack, then I've got like 2 layers for cooking. You can see through the window, because it has a window, the space that we have here between the rack and the air fry basket, so that's pretty nice, and so you can do some 2-layer cooking. Now if we go inside, let's see what's going on inside. There's nothing to the right side, nothing to the left side, nothing on the side. Up top we see, hold on, let me set it down here so that I can more easily manipulate things. But we see basically big heating coil, big fan for air frying, and back in the back here, you may not notice it, back in the back right there is your ambient probe right there. If I can point it out, that's your ambient probe. That's how it measures temperature. So pretty simple what's going on in there, but that's your close-up view of things. I also want to point out that the interior is all metal, so you've got an interior that's metal, plus you have a metal basket here. That's a big plus to have a metal basket and a metal interior. If the interior of the air fryer were plastic, it may not hold heat as well as a metal interior. So good job here as far as how this thing is constructed by Gourmia. Alright, I just want to show you something real quick after I got the unit all washed off and cleaned up to continue the review. I noticed that, I guess from the hot water and such, condensation builds up between the two glass pane, well, between the glass pane on the inside and the plastic pane on the outside. There's condensation buildup. There are air holes on the top of the door, I guess for that to eventually dry out. But if you get like food or something down in here, I think, you're going to have a bit of trouble. I don't know how to clean in between those 2 pieces. And so I guess if anyone has an issue that comes up with that, which, could happen, or, maybe you get some oily buildup or something in there in between the 2, I don't have any guidance for you. And if you ask later, 2 years, 3 years from now, I still don't have any guidance for you because they don't give any instructions for how to, like, separate these to clean in there. So This is something that I remember seeing in like the Ninja, not the Ninja, the New Wave Brio 14Q, I think is the one that had it, where it had a door with the double panes that had this type of build-up situation. And there's just nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. It just, you know, if something builds up in there and it's oily, of an oily nature, you're going to be stuck. That's just the way it is. Alright, so now I've got the Gourmia with the windows side by side with the Gourmia dual basket digital air fryer. And if you remember, this is a 10-quart 2-basket air fryer versus the 8-quart here with the single one with the window. So of course, you know, the baskets in here are a little smaller than the baskets in the big 8-quart. So just for your visual, you know, just to see the difference there. You see one's much bigger than the other. So this one can hold a lot more at once, whereas you can do 2 different things in 2 different baskets. Full review of this here on the channel. And we see the 2 baskets a little taller, of course it's wider. So the 2 basket as far as height, let me see if I can get a tape measure in here. We're looking at about 14 inches versus about 12, a little under 12 for the 8-quart. Going side to side here, the 2 basket is about almost 15 and a half, maybe 15 and a quarter, whereas the 8-quart is about 11 and a half. Front to back, the 2-quart, and I like to go to the handle, by the way. So going to the handle is about 12 and a half. Just going to the edge of the cooker itself is about 11. On the 8-quart one here, going to the handle is about 13 and a quarter inches. Going to the edge of the cooker is about 11 inches. So that's the difference there. And inside the basket, you know, I'll just measure one of these. Inside was, and I've done this in the initial review, 5 inches. Going across here 7. Going this way 9. Doing a diagonal like that, 10 and a half. For this one, I want to measure the difference in depth between the, you get like maybe 1.5 inches, maybe almost 2 inches when you put in this extra rack. Without that extra rack, the depth is about 4.5 inches. Going across this way, we get 10. This way, we also get maybe about a little over 9.5. Going diagonal, we get a little over, no, not a little over, we get 12 inches on the diagonal there. So those are some of your dimensions that you work with. And given the measurements that I just showed you, this comes down in practical terms to certain things not fitting, like this about 6-inch ramekin cannot fit in the dual basket one, whereas it fits fine in this 8-quart one. And then I've got a 9-inch ramekin here, and this 9-inch ramekin also can fit into the 8-quart one, so you can cook some bigger things, you know, in one shot, including holding larger cooking utensils. Now, a standard 9-inch metal bake pan, round bake pan, it fits. It fits there into the Gourmia 8-quart, so you can, you know, put a 9-inch round bake pan in here and basically cook up stuff as you would with any, you know, thing that you want to cook in a 9-inch round bake pan. Of course, the heat coming from the top down, it's going to probably overcook the top some. However, you can do it, and also with like things like cakes and such, you could cook it. Of course, the top's going to be overcooked, and then you flip it, and so that bottom's not going to be as overcooked as the top. You can flip it over, you know, for presentation purposes, and do it that way if you wanted to do baking in here. Alright, now I want to do a chicken fit test. So I've got a chicken here. This is frozen, so I won't be cooking it in this video here, but it's 5.8 pounds, so it's a large size chicken. So we see that it fits, and I can close things up with that chicken in there. You can see that chicken inside of there. So you can cook a 5-6 pound chicken in here, and it fits. Alright, so going to do an initial plug-in here. So got the power cord, and plugging things on in, and we get a little, well, it lit up really quick, but things that went off again. There's just a slightly lit up illuminated Gourmia symbol here. That's your power button. I do want to remind you again, because of the wattage of this cooker, if you have anything else plugged in with it, it needs to be something that you're going to keep off and only use in times when you're not using the cooker, or you'll probably blow a circuit. So just keep that in mind again. Turn the cooker on here. We see things lit up. I'm going to turn this light off because you may not have seen that very well with the background light. Alright, so turn it back on again. It has a little chime when you turn things off. Turn them back on again. It's kind of interesting there. Kind of neat. And when you turn it on, the light comes on the inside there. Alright, so now I'm going to go through all the functions of the cooker in detail. And so basically, you've got a preheat button depending on the function you choose. We'll talk about whether or not it has a preheat, or you can toggle the preheat on and off. We'll talk in detail of which allow that or don't. Turn reminder, you can set or turn off turn reminder depending on the function. There's a stop cancel button. We'll talk more about that. Start your cook. Light button if you want to see your light inside. And then I guess, yeah, you can turn things off. So you got your full light control. You got your up down for your temperature. And you got your up down for your time. Your preheat will be red if preheat is invoked. This red turn symbol, don't know if you can see it, but that'll be lit if the turn reminder is invoked. But getting into the details of every function, the air fry function is basically defaults to 400 degrees 20 minutes, as you see, but it can go between 170 degrees Fahrenheit and 450 degrees Fahrenheit for between 1 to 60 minutes. The preheat and turn are on by default, although you can toggle them off. Next is the roast button, and you see as I touch each function, the function turns blue, just like the preheat and turn reminder are lit up here. So like if I turn it off, preheat turns white, preheat turns off there. So with the roast function, defaults as you see 425 degrees, 25 minutes, but you can set the temperature between 170 degrees Fahrenheit to 450 degrees Fahrenheit for between 1 minute to 120 minutes, 2 hours. So you get an hour more on roast than you do for air fry. Preheat and turn are on. You can toggle them off. Next is the broil function. Broil, as you see, starts at 450, 12 minutes. But you can adjust it between 400 and 450 degrees Fahrenheit for between 1 to 60 minutes. Preheat and turn are on, and you can toggle them off. Next is dehydrate. We see some things changed up with dehydrate. Defaults to 135, and 8 hours is what that is. That's not 8 minutes, it's 8 hours. And you can do between 90 degrees Fahrenheit to 470 degrees Fahrenheit for between 30 minutes to 24 hours. Preheat and turn are off. You can turn on the turn reminder, not the preheat. You can't preheat on dehydrate. On the reheat function, you see it starts at 315 minutes, but you can do between 170 degrees Fahrenheit, 450 degrees Fahrenheit for between 1 to 60 minutes. Preheat and turn are off. You can toggle both on if needed. Next is the keep warm function, and with keep warm, you see it starts at 200 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes, but you can switch it between 150 to 200, so 200 is the max for keep warm, and that's for between 1 minute and 8 hours. Preheat and turn are off, and you can't turn them on, so you can't toggle, and you see there's no option to toggle them on the keep warm function. Last function is the bake function. With the bake function, you see it starts at 350, 25 minutes, but you can go between 170 degrees Fahrenheit to 450 degrees Fahrenheit for between 1 minute to 120 minutes. Preheat is on, turn is off. Both can be toggled on or off as needed. And to switch between Fahrenheit and Celsius, you hold the up and down temperature button at the same time. So I hold this, it's supposed to switch. There we go, switch to Celsius, hold it again, and it goes off. So that's how you switch between Fahrenheit and Celsius as needed there. You can mute the sound off. You can press and hold the stop cancel button and it'll mute. And on mute, the air fryer will still beep when you're needing guided cooking prompts. So like when the cook's done, when it's time to flip and stuff, it's still going to beep. But if I hold this, it should mute things. Alright, so it beep beep. So now I'm pressing and mute it. So that's cool. I'll leave things muted and just let it make noise for the guided cooking prompts and leave it at that. To pause, it mentions that you can pull the basket, well, of course you can pull the basket out to pause, and you also can, well, I guess we'll test that, see how that works later, but also you can press the stop cancel button once and it'll pause, or you press twice on the stop cancel button and it'll totally cancel the cook out. So that's how you can do pauses with cooks. I got 3, so we'll basically be able to see how all these thermometers do, but maybe it'll give you a better chance at seeing the temperature as things go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit it on air fry here, go up to 450 maximum temp. I'm going to turn the turn reminder off, and I'll leave it for 20, although I'm only going to probably let this run for 10, and then I'll still do the burn off though, but as far as filming and such, let it run for about 10 and then do some other things with it. But with the preheat, we'll see how long the preheat takes as well and see how the temperature gauges read for that. I'm going to hit start, and so we'll let it run for a while and we'll see if the fan keeps going while that's, the light keeps going while it's warming up and all. We'll see what our temperature gauges have to say about this as they go along. And the light just went out just as I said that, so you won't be able to see things as well. I'll just have to light it up. I guess after the preheat I'll light it up again and you can see how things look after the preheat, but we'll just let this go forward. Alright, now the add fluid has come up, but it's going to continue going. It did turn the light on by itself. It'll eventually pick up counting time. I'm seeing temperatures at 400 degrees on all of the, well, my middle temperature gauge is reading under 400, but the 2 on the right and left are reading 400 degrees, so we're probably somewhere below 450. So yeah, nothing's reading, none of them are reading anywhere near 450 yet. Well, they're getting closer. Time is counting down, and they're getting closer to 450 for the ones on the right and left. One in the middle is just hitting 400, so I think he's falling a little behind on the temperature read compared to the other 2. That's pretty interesting. So we'll just let this continue for a bit. Okay, so I let things go a little beyond 10 minutes. About 12 minutes almost now, and looks like the light came on inside, and everything's at 450 for the 2 on the sides. The one in the middle is still a little below 450, so I'm thinking the one in the middle is not as reliable as my 2 on the sides. So I do believe that it does reach the target 450 and it does maintain the target 450. Preheat gets you close, like it gets you to 400, but after that, when it starts cooking, it does hit the 450. Now I'm doing some sound decibel check. Basically, I've got my sound decibel reader running here. Whoops, sorry, screen went off. When I'm not talking, we're in the upper 50s. Yeah, we're hovering between 58 and 60 decibels when I'm not talking. So it's a basket air fryer, so you're going to hear some noise there. That's how it is with basket air fryers. It comes with the territory. Alright, now I'm going to feel around the cooker. Down here on this metal table is cool. Feeling real cool down here. On top here, it's a bit warm, a little hot, just a little. This glass here, it's hot. Don't want to keep my hand there too long. I can put it there, but not too long. Side is cool. Side is cool. Hot air is coming out the back, but down lower in the back, I can keep my hand down there. So most of the exterior is not very hot at all. It's pretty good. Now I want to check making changes on the fly, so we can go down in temperature on the fly. We can go up, let's see, yeah, we can go up in time on the fly, so we're already able to make changes on the fly. Now I'm going to check pulling the door. Everything stops when I pull the door. But when I put the door back in, it's basically a pause. Everything went out, but it picks up where it left off. If I hit stop cancel once, that's a decent pause there. So it does work, but then I pressed it again. I ended my cook. If I hit start, it would have basically started again. So just turn that off. Now once I turn it back on, if I go to air fry, it doesn't remember what I just had set. So if I go to like 450 start, and it's going to start, well, it should get through this preheat pretty quickly because, I just turned it off a moment ago. So let's see. If I cancel, I want to try one more thing. Let's turn the preheat off up to 450. Let it run. And then if I were to stop the cook, yeah, it can pick up again, but then if I stop it, then if I go back, yeah, it doesn't remember anything. So there's no memory in the cooker, regardless if it's turned on or off. You see, I just powered off, but it's still doing like a fan cool down routine. And a lot of cookers do this, they just run the fan for a while to cool things down. Alright, something neat that I noticed I want to show you. When you open the door, you can easily rest the door on the counter. Like the bottom of this stays cool, and you can just kind of rest it on your counter while you're getting your food and stuff out, which is pretty cool. And even pulling it out, it doesn't really touch it very much, but it's pretty nice that you can kind of rest the door on the counter while you're getting your food out of the basket air fryer. So let me push it back just a little bit more. Yeah, you pull it out, you can just totally rest it there while you get food out or do whatever you want to do. That's pretty cool. So now I'm going to do a toast test, and I've got 2 slices of bread here. This is spelt light sourdough bread here. I've got the full video demonstrating how I made it here on the channel, and this is basically a different loaf of it though. But I've got 1 slice with butter, another slice with no butter, just to do a toast test of things and see how things turn out. So I'm putting 1 slice here. I'm going to turn it that way so that I can fit this other slice in easily, turn that way. So closing on up, and now I'm going to turn it on. Let me turn this light off so you can see better. Okay, so with the bread in there, I'm hitting air fry, and I'm going to kill the preheat. I'm going to kill the turn reminder, and I'm going to up it to 450, and I'm going to do the max for just about 3 minutes. The bread is like pretty much room temperature, so we'll just see what it does in 3 minutes, or maybe 4. Maybe give it a little, I guess I'm kind of teetering between 3 and 4. I guess now that I can see with a door, through the door, I'll just look. So I'll leave it at 4 and just see how it looks. So we'll let that run for a moment. Alright, so we'll see how things look after 4 minutes. I'm just going to do go ahead and pull things out now. Get it on the plate. And so you see, basically the melted butter got melted pretty good. Got some searing. I think you can see it better if I turn the light on. Alright, so now you can see that the bread got some searing, the butter got all melted, this one got a little searing. So 4 minutes, gave a little bit of a toast to it. Back, because there's no heating element on the bottom, basically nothing on the back as far as any toasting really. But that's basically how air fryers usually do when they're making toast. Okay, now I'm going to do a bake test with some almond flour brownies. I'll flash the recipe on the screen. I'm not using guar gum this time, and so Lord willing they'll still hold together, but we'll see about that. But if they fall apart, don't blame it on the cooker. Blame it on me not putting guar gum in the recipe. So turning it on, going to bake. So hitting bake here. Going to try 350 and might need up to 30 minutes time. So I'm upping it to 30, but since we can keep an eye on things, I'll stop if I need to. I'm noticing, I guess depending on the, you know, how moist or not my finger is, you know, it doesn't seem to respond as well on the touch screen. So something to keep in mind there. Turn reminders off, hitting start, and let it preheat, and I'll get the pan with the brownies in. Alright, I didn't notice the preheat had ended, and that it was time to get things in. I missed the chime because I was busy not paying attention, but I'm going to get the big pan in here. So I'm hitting that camera a little bit. Up the time back to 30, and just let it do its thing for a while, and bring you back in a bit. Alright, I've let it go 15 minutes, going to pause the cook, and things are looking really, you know, done on top. I think it still needs at least another 5 minutes though. So, closing up, let it continue. Kind of cool that we can see that the top's getting a little overcooked, which you would expect for brownies in a basket air fryer, but you know, at the same time, we'll see how things turn out. Give it another 5 and then I'll try and pull it in. Alright, 20 minutes. I think we're going to have to stop it because it's getting pretty done on top. So I'm going to cancel it, end it, and things look really, yeah, I think it's done. But I'll turn the light on and let you have a look at what I'm seeing. So you see it's really done. So we'll taste test it later though. Now I'm going to do an air fry test with a frozen salmon fillet here, seasoned with some lemon pepper and organic no salt seasoning. So just going to get it in. The cooker is still pretty warm from earlier cook, but I'm going to go with it anyway and not preheat. So got it on in there. Going to hit air fry. Going to do 375. Not going to turn it over. It's got skin on the back, so turn those off. And I'm going to do 30 minutes cooking time and see what we get. So going to hit start. Bring you back. Well, I'll let you see what happens and bring you back to talk in a bit. Alright, things have been going for 20 minutes and looking crispy, so I'm going to check. We'll see if things are well done yet or not. Yeah, we're 146, 147. we're in good shape. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it on out now. Comes off real easy. Right there on our plate. I'll turn the light on. Alright, so here's the finished product. You can tell me what you think. I'm going to let it set and rest for a moment and go grab the brownie. That might be ready for taste testing. Alright, we got our brownie here, so just going to move the cooker back a little bit. Set our brownie here on the table a little bit. Maybe you can see things better now. Let me try and get in here and get a piece. Carve it out like that. Without the guar gum, like I said, it may not hold together as well, but we'll see how it turns out. I think we did at least accomplish what I wanted, which was to just test if the cooker can cook a brownie, you know, in a respectable amount of time, and it did all the way through. So it's cooked, and I'm just going to thank God for this and do a quick taste. It's very good, very fluffy and light, and so it did a good job with that. I mean, the top is, you know, a little overcooked, but I don't taste that in the bite, so that's good. Now I'm just going to cut the fish and do a quick taste of it. See, it's pretty juicy. Juice is coming off of it. So here we go. Pretty good. So it's all a win. So now I want to talk about cleaning the cooker. Accessories are all top rack, dishwasher safe, and personally I prefer hand washing. I don't put any of this stuff in the dishwasher. That's my personal preference. You can use like a warm soapy dish rag to clean things off, then a wet one to wipe things off afterwards, and you know, make sure things are dried off after that. You can soak the basket with water if you need to, and you can use a non-metallic type of a cleaning brush on the inside of the air fryer if you need to. And they don't mention using a brush on anything else, just on the inside, but I suspect, you know, if you're using like a non-abrasive stuff, you'll be okay. So let's talk about the warranty. The cooker comes with a 1-year limited warranty, and so that's pretty much standard. And I just wanted to say, if you want to check out more recipes and things to use with air fryer ovens and such, you can always check out my blog, superwaveovenrecipes.com. That's superwaveovenrecipes.com altogether. And in the video description, there are lots of ways to help the channel. But this cooker I did want to mention, it turned out, you know, did pretty well. Did pretty good work. Able to see what you're cooking. You can always let me know in a comment what you think. But in the video description, there's things like my cookbook, merch, membership, donations, link to the Amazon shop where you pay the same price to help the channel, and lots of other ways to help the channel there as well. And so, if you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share the video with a friend, leave your comments, subscribe, hit that notification icon, and good eating.